Hello, and welcome back to Lorehammer. I guess, hey, this is Lorehammer Listener Lore, the 40K podcast where you get to write the script. I'm your host, Mark, and joining me today, we got the man who wrote this piece of fan wankery. I haven't read it, so I don't know, but we got Aaron. Hey, welcome.
Yeah, hey, they're the Ophidians.
I guess they're
on
not.
It was based on snakes. Everything.
Yeah. So I guess they're not like a fan wank where you're writing about ultramarines like you have Rain and Gil. You got your own homebrew going on.
Yeah. It was the entire basis at first was I was sitting there, I was like, man, I kind of want to make my own, but I don't know where to start. And I had only one thing to start with, and it was the chapter master name. It was the Black Mamba. And I was like, that is so like it seems like a perfect choice. And I was like, it fits like the ego and like being at the top. And I was like, I'm gonna go with it and let's see where I can fit with it. And then I came up with like a psychic mutation for their librarians that I thought was pretty sick, with like the Ouroboros theme with like eating in on themselves, so they burn like really hard like a candle, and they like really go out quick. So they're hard hitting, but they don't last very long. They last like 9 decades, like nothing. Like their librarians are nothing, dude.
They're like happy about it or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. They're like, the one thing that kind of jumped out, like I love the strong theme of the serpents. I just recorded my Astrocrota where they're crocodile hunters. Different vibe, but I just kept thinking about the episode will come out soon, but I just kept thinking about doing green stuff purity seals, but instead of like cloth, it's snake skin.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
it's kind of that theme. I was thinking like everything is serpent and snake, and they've got like the like with how the salamanders hunted the salamanders on their home planet. Is it Nocturne? Is that right? Yeah. And I wanted them to hunt like giant snakes. So I was like, well, it kind of just fits if they also come from salamanders too. So it's like their gene seed, and I had to think of a way to make it fit with them being silent. So like, well, let's make them a cursed founding, let's make them a 2 gene seeds. Let's make it Raven Guard and salamanders, so they're super quiet. And I wanted with the Raven Guard, I thought maybe they could turn that mutation from a fire resistance to the ice resistance, and like super cold. So they actually have a weakness that's in there. If you read, they're cold-blooded, so they don't produce body heat. So their armor gives them all their like heat, so they have to have their armor on, or they have to be in a heated environment. So like that's like cool. For like sneaking around and stuff, they can like thermal stuff doesn't work on them.
So they're like gene seeds kind of adapted to their planet where it's like naturally warm and stuff. Like,
I've got their planet is actually an ice world.
Oh, I'm naturally cold. Yeah. So
because I've got them with it's an eclipse world with they've got two suns, but they've got 3 moons, and they've got this like band around the equator that's just permanent eclipse and warp fuckery and a bunch of shit that came out of there. And dude, I think the idea of just everybody having to migrate to these poles and making hive cities, and like I have one hive city that's actually going in, like there's no outward for it, it's just a crater. And there's no story behind the crater currently. It's just a crater.
Nice. Well, you have like a 40-page document. I think this is going to be a two-parter. But I love all these little details, man, like all that kind of stuff. My mind's already racing even with this Salamander's Raven Guard idea where you have, the black skin and then you have the albino of the Raven Guard. You almost get this like patchy, scaly look on them on some of the older ones maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking like how like kind of like snake scales, but like they only really maybe like only around the hands, or maybe like around the neck, or like it's not really super visible. Like they've not had too many genetic mutations yet. Like despite being a cursed founding, like for the 21st, most of their mutations are psychic. Except for like
and like that one I feel like is like a safe mutation where it's like, well, the melanin is just kind of reversed in some areas, like it's just some patch, so it's not like they're sprouting horns or something like.
Well, the only like horn kind of stuff they have is like they have the serpent like fangs, but they keep it hidden. Like with snakes, they retract and go upwards into the mouth, and I was like, well, maybe they can hide it from the Inquisition that way, but no.
Nobody smile.
No. Nobody smile. Nobody make the fangs go out.
Oh, cool.
Everybody's serious all the time. And they're super zealous too, like super. Like I had them as like Black Templar, like religiously fanatic in order to keep up with their like dying all the time. I have them. They don't live a lot. There's not a lot of good named characters yet.
Nice. Okay. Well, we can get into it.
Absolutely.
Maybe you just start reading, and then when you feel like it's a natural breaking point, I'll jump in and we'll just kind of go back and forth.
You want me to do the condensed one to start or the longer one?
I think let's just do that big 40-page document, and we won't get to it all today, but I don't mind a two-parter, you know? At least it'll kind of encourage me to do the next one, so.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, let's scroll back up to the top then. All right, so the chapter name is the Ophidians, the serpent-like ones. They are a successor chapter of the salamanders, likely created during a Western. Wait, hold on. That is not supposed to be in there. I've proofread a lot of this, but I didn't take out a lot of the stuff when I had them as original, like 23rd to 26th, because like I had it as unknown. But I was like, well, they need to have the genetic reason for the mutation, so let's just make it 21st and just. Oh well, so I'll change that later, but it's supposed to be.
No, okay, we'll say this as WIP, then final draft.
Yeah.
Like criticism only.
Yeah. And then the salamanders are okay. There's an unsure. Hold on. Some genitors whispered that the Ophidians' gene seed is unstable, corrupted by exposure to some unknown Xenos bioagent during their early crusades. Others claim it was deliberate tampering to perfect Vulcan's resilience, which that bioagent from the Xenos thing, I've actually got a little story I'm writing on the side about that, but I don't know how to make a gene mutation with some form of like alien snake monster that made the giant snakes on their homeworld, but I don't know how to like incorporate that fully yet, so like it's not fully developed. But
yeah, maybe you go like the Fabius bile route, which would be easier. Maybe you go like a Cormora route, and the Dark Eldar, they have that like serpent people, so maybe just some sick homunculus. You know,
I didn't even know about that. I'm gonna have to do so much more research. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like every little serpent thing about like Warhammer that could be involved with snakes, I gotta find out just to see if there's any connection I can make.
While you're reading, I'll pull up some images, and for those watching the show, come check out, and you'll see some cool images of some art that he's made, and also some other 40k serpent art.
Yeah. So they have a couple gene seed mutations. They have the scaled dermis. Their skin develops subtle matte black scales. Under harsh light, it reflects a green or purple sheen. The texture is tough, giving them increased resistance to that's supposed to be ice, not heat, to cold, toxins, and minor physical trauma. So like how some snake scales can be a little hard. I imagine them just kind of like taking the blunt, kind of like dragon scale, but not quite the same, just because snakes are kind of meant to be a little sleeker and going around a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then this one right here, I actually kind of really liked, but I didn't know if I should keep it because of just kind of how terrifying it's going to be to see these dudes with this, because they have something called the Ophidian eyes, which are vertical slit pupils that can dilate and contract in extreme low light conditions, and that makes them extremely deadly night and tunnel fighters. But if you've got these like sons of Vulcan who are big on saving humanity and stuff, and then they take their helmet off to greet you, and you just see like snake eyes and snake teeth. I've not gave them a tongue. Dude. I thought that was a little too heretical. I was like, no, they're not getting the snake tongue. But they can have the eyes, they can have the teeth. But I was like, man,
yeah, you never want to go full snake.
Never. Too Slaneshi. Yeah, that's a little spoiler, but yeah, they have serpentine reflex, which is an enhanced nerve conductivity that allows for explosive bursts of motion, akin to like a snake strike when they like bite. In combat, they can lunge or reposition with terrifying speed, appearing to blur mid-motion. So like the original theme for that was actually the Carcharodons, with how like sharks fight, because I've seen how there's a theory with them, with how they fight, is the same with the way sharks do. Is because sharks will hunt and then do like a big burst of like muscle, just power. And I think the Carcharodons are known to be like kind of the same way. So I was like, well, maybe if we just have that kind of quick strike like thing with snakes, and they
nothing like the
quickly
prairie
coil
mantis,
around
I've
them.
been
No,
told,
no,
but
no,
or the
no, no.
mantis shrimp even, but still pretty good, still pretty powerful.
Yeah, the mantis shrimp's a little, kind of crazy. It makes me think, what could like an Astartes do if he really flicked with all his might? Is he going to cause a mini nuclear explosion? Like, what's going to happen there? Just Gilliman going around flicking people in the head. Like, I think it's so weird. Like mantis shrimp like that. They're so small, dude, and they make tiny suns. That shit is ridiculous. But I think it's interesting the way they have the same type of uh, references to different stuff with the Carcharodons, because I didn't want to give them anything that was too new. Like, I didn't want to make
you
it
almost always
groundbreaking.
want to. Yeah, exactly. You never want to be the guy to make it groundbreaking. We were talking before we hit the recording, just like, like I learned so much just trying to write this, because every time I write something, I gotta go fact check it. So yeah, man.
There's a lot in here that did not make it, and it's still 12,000 words. There's a lot in here that had to get cut out.
Love it.
So they have a heat shedding physiology. They have a lowered body temperature, allowing them to mask thermal signatures, a trait prized in ambush warfare. So I have them like lowering their temperatures, taking their like when they have a really like they need to get somewhere in a short burst from here to here, and they have to do it quietly. Maybe they like turn off their like armor's like internal heat, turn off the lights on it, and just move, just completely cold. Like thermal scans will just pick up just this cold object moving, like nothing hot. So
I like that. There's one Horus Heresy book where the Dark Angel, his power plant got broken, so he was wearing his cold armor and walking around, and like you can still wear power armor and move it. You'll get tired quick, but like you could do those quick movements like you're talking about, where it's that final kind of approach and strike. That's cool, man.
I kind of imagine like I forget which Batman movie it is. It's the one where they're shooting guns at him, and in the burst of the flashing, he's like moving from spot to spot. And I have it like when you can see him, his armor's on and he's moving full speed. But when you can't see him and you're using your thermal, he's got it off, and you don't know where he is. And that is what's terrifying about those guys. Is you have no idea where they're going to be.
I always like to try to tie some of these mutations to actual gene seed. Like I'm loving all these kind of different mutations. I'm trying to tie which ones are which.
Yeah.
So like that heat shedding, it would be like totally the mucinoid, where it's the implant that allows the space marine to sweat a substance that coats the skin that offers resistance to heat and cold. So like theirs is just dialed into only like one way. It's only dialed to cold. So they're always sweating this like cold.
Yeah, I had one. It was the I'll go ahead and spoil it. It's the Fangborn mutation, the Emperor's Bite. It's a very rare one that's got an interaction between the os medulla and the Beecher's gland. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah,
and it makes retractable fangs that fold into the upper plate, and they're linked to venom ducts. So one of the main reasons why the like I named the scouts hatchlings for the with snakes, and how when they're babies and they bite, they release too much venom. They just release it all at once. I have it kind of the same with these guys, where if they're not trained how to do it right and they do it, they'll literally like drain themselves of their bodily fluids, because they'll just put everything out at once. Like they'll dehydrate themselves. Like because they can't control how much they do of it.
There's tons of example of like just like bone mutations in Astartes, or even the Blood Angels. So yeah, fucking cool. You just gotta go hard sometimes. It's actually, I gotta ask, do you own a bunch of snakes, or where is this fetish coming from?
Actually, it came from I looked at Fulgrim and I was like, well, I liked the snake model, and I knew there was, I think it's the iron snakes that are ultramarine successors. right? And I
Yeah.
knew there wasn't any like actual gene mutations for it, but they had carcharodons with like sharks. But I was like, well, space sharks. Let's make space snakes. Let's just go
Yeah.
full wild with it. And if you look up the Ophidians with a Y instead of with an I, it's actually an alien species that's kind of broadband for alien snake species and like fantasy. And
Okay,
Ophidians
cool.
are a thing already in Warhammer, apparently, with a Y. I did not know that either.
Okay, what are they? What are they specifically? Are they some snake thing as
I
well?
don't remember. I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah, man. There's so many sweet 40K snake models. From Fulgrim, like you said, to the Slith.
They are
These
Necrons,
guys.
Ophidian destroyers.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, Ophidian
Yeah,
destroyers.
yeah, yeah.
Sometimes they're three-legged tripody, but you could easily make
Yeah,
a
yeah,
Serpent-Born.
yeah.
Yeah. And the other cool ones are from AOS. AOS, they're these like serpent. I forget. Yeah, these ones here.
Oh,
I
whoa.
forget what. Yeah, they're females, but you fucking chop them in half, and you got the tails
Snake
now of
titties,
some
dude.
snake titties. I didn't know they were mammals.
Yo, I came here for Warhammer, man, not for Snake City.
Okay, but you're
Oh,
staying for the
yeah,
snake
yeah, yeah,
titties.
yeah,
I can tell you that
yeah.
much.
Oh, that's
Yes.
so funny. That's so Slaneshi right there.
Yeah, I love it. There's some great snake stuff, but yeah,
Yeah,
go hard,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I was um I was doing research to make sure there wasn't anything else that was for it, but if you look up Ophidian with a Y, there is some form of alien species that just kind of brings up that it used to, but it's not bringing up anything for me now because I've done Warhammer stuff. So I'd have to look up like not in Warhammer, but I don't know how to look that up because it's being weird. My Google says too curated right now.
That's so funny then. Yeah, I
It's
hear you,
bad.
buddy.
A couple of days worth of research and you're not going to see anything else. I could look up like dogs and it would show me like Warhammer dogs right now. It wouldn't bring up like regular dogs.
That's so
It's
funny.
caught my
All
autism a
encompassing.
little. But yeah, it's um they have a I'll continue while you look that up so we don't just kind of have dead air time. They have a venomous spit, which is a rare mutation. I don't because I know they had like some space marines have the acidic one and a lot of them don't. Like some imperial fish just don't have it, I believe, like their gene seed doesn't allow for it.
Yeah.
And I had the venomous spit for them is it has to be ingested despite it being like you would think like covering it they could like skin absorb it maybe, but it's not super potent. It's typically used as a like almost like a muscle relaxer or uh
Okay.
like an anesthetic to like knock people out to like
Interesting. Yeah. So it's not. It's a paralytic as opposed to like.
yeah. I don't I have it as see it can also it causes like on open wounds it causes the blood to clot. So if you've got like a guardsman who's got his hand cut off and he's clearly going to die, the space marine just takes his helmet off, spits on it, and the dude's hand just clots. Like it'd be
Okay.
terrifying, but he lives.
Yeah. Space Marines already do have an organ like their blood clots naturally with the air.
But guardsmen don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's
Commissars
the.
don't.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
missed that part. Yeah. They spit on somebody else and then they clot
Yes.
them. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
whether you use that for medicinal or even if you bite an orc, maybe it might
Yeah.
do a little something.
Yeah, that too.
Sure.
Just take a
Okay.
big bite out of a giant mushroom, basically.
Yeah, man. When all else fails.
Yeah, what all else fails. They have a predatory focus. So like I had them as a like how snakes go on like a hunt and they can become tunnel visioned on it. They had the exact same things where it becomes so laser focused on their prey, it can become like an obsession. And I'm pretty sure isn't there it's either Imperial Fist or Black Templar. It's Dorn's thing that you guys were doing your podcast on. It was his depression he felt when he had the Emperor's body that they can have, like some mutation of some kind. I forget what that's called.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because I was literally just listening to that episode today while I was at work. And I was like, I figured it would be the exact same way. Like they lose themselves to like this predatory, I have to kill, and like eventually you got to put those battle brothers down. But what are you gonna do if that's like
for a nap, right?
No, when he starts killing guardsmen, you don't want to seem heretical because he's just killing, It don't matter what's around him, he's just killing everything. So it's kind of like I have the chaplains. They overview everything. They have to like make sure nobody loses themselves to their predatory. They don't also lose themselves to the reverse side of it, which is that Ophidians are the same way the salamanders are extremely more civilian focused than any other chapter. The Ophidians will actually not heal Astartes around them unless they're life threatened. If there are civilians with just small wounds around them, they'd be like, "You're made to suffer. Like these guys aren't." So the apothecaries will go around healing civilians and guardsmen and just ignore bleeding battle brothers unless they are actively dying.
Yeah, and like it's like in a moment of like they're sitting in the trench and there's a volley of fire going. You're waiting for 10 minutes. Everyone's waiting for 10 minutes. Maybe they do it then, but it's not their goal.
And I could just imagine you're just bleeding from the gut from a wound from an orc, and you see your apothecary just walk right past you to a guardsman who like lost a pinky, and he's like, "We got to get that stitched up, man." He's like, we got to get this fixed.
That looks real bad.
He just like spits on his fingers. He's like, "All right, you'll be fine."
Jeez.
So they also have a zealous secrecy. They guard their gene seed's nature with religious fervor, even from the Inquisition, which is also a gene seed mutation I have, which is the same type of one they have with their hyper focus for predatory. They can too focus on being secrets and like having too many secrets, so they end up not sharing information in some ways when they should, and they don't let anybody know their inner workings at all. Like nobody goes deep in there.
It's not even that they're doing anything bad. Hey, like
they're just secret. Yeah, you're not a part of us. You don't learn our stuff. Like you're not one of us. Like
cool.
If you don't go through our stuff, you don't learn our stuff. Is how I figured they would be it.
Sure. Yeah, like 40 pages. I'm sure we'll get to the chapter cult of it all, but yeah, man.
yeah. It gets there. It gets there.
Yeah. In time, we say.
Yeah.
Let it build.
So they have a these are battle doctrines I have up here. Let me put those down. That is it for gene seed mutations, except for the I already mentioned it, the bite, the Emperor's bite.
Yeah.
I believe that's it for the gene seed.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like what you've done with that. Like, yeah, you lean into it. You kind of briefly mentioned like the extreme end of the mutation. Like, what is the extreme end? Is there a possibility to actually have like half serpent, half Astartes? Maybe they're like fallen members, or like, do we get there?
Yeah. So the planet has cultists from before the Ophidians rose on the planet. Before the Salamander and Raven Guard people were there, and they had this little. I've got a story about it in there. We'll get to that eventually. But they worked together to protect this planet from these cultists, and eventually the cultists brought a rise out from the Ophidians that led to this gene seed mutation of a worshipping of this false serpent god that was Slaanesh, and it caused that everything in it just to go extreme. So that's why they're so like extremely overwatching their gene seed, is because any slight change and it just goes full Slaanesh, full serpent.
Yeah.
Like their legs conjoin maybe. Like I've not fully got there yet. Like like their bottom half conjoins to make like a slithering lower half. I don't know for sure.
The warp's a hell of a thing, man. You sniff enough warp dust and anything's possible.
Literally,
I like that there is there's the possibility for that. You know, I wouldn't want to see them running around beside your chapter or nothing. I don't think that's the goal, but like, yeah, this kind of, the cult was there first, the cult of the serpent. Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yep. Oh, well, technically, I actually was wrong. There is one gene seed mutation I could talk about. It's the Ouroboros. It's the librarian's gene seed mutation. I'll read what I've wrote here for it. It's quite a bit, but it's not too much. It'd be the Ophidian gene seed was stable when first implanted, true to Vulcan's resilient line. The mutation emerged over centuries of isolated crusades and exposure to extreme planetary rich environments in radiation and exotic biospheres. The key mutation is neurotic psychic recursion, a flaw and gift intertwined. The recursion instinct, the core mutation of the gene seed. The Ophidian neural architect loops impulses back into itself, kind of like the Ouroboros, which was the main thing for the naming of the librarians, which are the Ouroboros, is that serpent eating its own tail, which perfect. I thought would be like a regular librarian is like a candle, and these guys are like those sparkling candles that just go off like crazy, but they burn in like 5 seconds. So they go quick. Yeah, that right there, that's what I was talking about.
Tons of classic different shit, or tons of different art styles, but
occult stuff right in there with what I was going for. So yeah, they burn quick, and their thoughts form like closed coils, so they can only be in the moment, so they allow for hyper focused patience and just emotionless calculation, just completely emotionless. Despite being sons of Vulcan, they can be emotionless. Because if it's not obvious, I am a big Vulcan and Salamanders guy. They were like my first chapter I like read anything about. I loved how much more human they were. I like the super soldiers not being human, but at the same time, I like them being more grounded. Because
you know, it's nice that they don't just like they're not just going in and killing everything, and sometimes it's guardsmen.
yeah. Granted, we won't talk about Vulcan and then Eldar stuff. We'll leave that out of this discussion. But they okay. Let me get back to where I was. However, the same recursion creates psychic self-consumption. Their warp presence feed upon its own energy, burning bright and dying fast. Thus born were the Ouroboros, those whose minds devour themselves to fuel their psychic might. And the side effects of them are slowed emotional responses. They can appear eerily calm or detached, just kind of like they don't care, but they do. It just, everything is a little slower. Just, it doesn't look like they know that what all is going on all the time. It just, they're a little delayed, just kind of like a GPU slow, kind of. Like everybody's lagging behind just a little bit. And then they're actually, one thing that I really liked about this was like I have like their presence for like their psychic field, it folds inward instead of like going outwards. So if you're within a set distance of them and you have a psychic presence and you like can feel people's warp presence, you them from a set distance because it doesn't go out too far. And
I've just been thinking about that line of how, let me just find exactly how he said it. It's them looping their energy, and it feeds, the warp presence feeds upon its own energy, burning bright and dying fast. That's a cool concept. And how
because like because my understanding of souls in Warhammer is it's the size of the straw you are in between you and your soul, and the warp is varies depending on how big your soul is and how powerful you are in controlling it, I believe. And you can increase your straw size or lower it, kind of like the Emperor did when he was going to become the Dark King but didn't. he made his straw size like the size of an outward bit on a dam. You know, when they release the water on it, it just shoots out all that water. I imagine that was like the emperor in that moment, and he fully let the floodgates loose. So
yeah, I've never heard it described that way, but I definitely get that. That's a fun way of doing it. Like another example maybe is like when Sanguinius dies, like full straw, like the straw has burst on both ends, and now his descendants feel it. Like
exactly. Okay, it's burst, and it overflows, and everything that was containing it, including the blood angels, some of their straws have cracks in them, which allowed their all their mutations and stuff that came on afterwards, the Black Rage and stuff. So
God damn, I love a good analogy.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good because I really liked it because that inward fold also allows them to both resist and destroy minor like warp let me see how I actually worded this. That can reflect or nullify minor warp intrusions. So like if there's a small ritual going on with a powerful librarian that's there, he can just being in that situation prevent the warp from allowing any opening in his surrounding because everything loops around him. There's no opening allowed.
Yeah. I know you said you were relatively new to 40K.
Yeah.
But have you heard of blanks and stuff?
Yes, I have. But I didn't want them to not have psychic power. I wanted them to still have it, but they burn quick with it. So I wanted to have a negative for it.
Yeah, no, this is a nice little, they're not quite blanks. They have, it's almost like a reverse psychic power, but then it really costs them
a lot with their life, like completely. Like
instead
of lasting like 400 years, like I don't know the average life of an Astartes. I just figure it's like 400 to 500 roughly. I don't really know. Like the well accomplished ones end up that long. Who really knows? I don't think there's a whole lot of lore based on what the average Astartes lifespan is. It's kind of up in the air. But these guys burn fast. And
I like that little separation of that. Interesting how these guys use their powers so far.
Yeah, they that is so here is probably my favorite line in how they like control their powers, and it's when they full on unleash all of it. When channeling full power, they begin to bleed from their eyes and nostrils, forming a pattern like serpent fangs dripping venom out of their like mouths and out from their eyes.
And from the eyes.
Yeah, and if you see one of them doing that, they're going to die, but so are you. You're not getting out of that situation alive.
Yo, does that happen to snakes in real life? Like, why'd you include the eyes as well?
Well, I honestly, when I picture somebody going through an immense effort and like somebody doing something telepathically in like media, the first thing that they bleed is nose and then eyes. And it's just because everything's pushing out, I just imagine that there's so much going on there that it just blood's got to come out somewhere. So it's just coming out of every bit it can.
No, I like that. What a crazy visage that would be.
Yeah, like and maybe even like the chief librarian, when he fully undoes his power, it comes out of like the pores in his face. Like it just starts like pouring out of him. Like I think that'd be funny. Just you see just an Astartes walking with you and his face is pouring blood and you're like, I'm dead. I'm screwed. This guy has no wounds, but he's pouring blood. I'm going to die. I don't know what I've done, but it's over. Yeah. So they have a little bit of symbolic belief around the mutation for the Ouroboros. The Ophidians believe that this is not a flaw, but divine design. It's the Emperor's test. They say the Emperor devours himself that humanity may endure, but we mirror his sacrifice. Thus, the Ouroboros willingly sacrifice sanity and lifespan to wield their power. Their deaths are seen as molting into eternity. So, yeah, right? That's what I thought, dude. I was like, they like shed their skin to become another librarian, steps in the place of that librarian, and then they just repeat this process. And I have I forget which specific part of it is. It's the vault of something. It's, dude, I've wrote so much, and I hadn't reread it when we went up to Pennsylvania and had to come back. So like I didn't know for sure if I was gonna be able to get home and read for a minute and I go over it, but it'd be all right. But they've got a specific vault that's got all the collected skulls of the librarians who have burned out, and they keep it and protect it much like relics of the chapter.
Yeah, this is our pile of relic skulls.
yeah, exactly. This is all our librarians.
Yeah, I can imagine like their skulls would all kind of be stained. On the eyes, like you said, in the mouth, like kind of this yellow, where it's like, it's just a slight yellower than the rest of the skull.
Yeah, like maybe it's whenever they were channeling their power, maybe they've got some that where their eye sockets are, they're cracked or something. Like, there's so much force of the blood going out that you can tell when one was a chief librarian or not.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
And then they had a strategic consequence for it. Because of their mutation, the Ouroboros cannot sustain long campaigns. They burn out within decades. The chapter honors them as saints. Their skulls carved within concentric, I believe that's how you say that word, concentric, I don't know, scales, and entered in the vault of shedding. If I would just read for a minute, we would have gotten to that. Where their physical echoes whisper eternal counsel. So I had them like how like that whispers eternal counsel was 100% a Harry Potter Slytherin Parselton like whispering to you like in the background, like all the librarians, like they're whispering, and like if like a really bad thing's happening and they're all agreeing and they're all whispering in the same like words, some shit's about to go down. Where they're like, you got to go to Hellas Coil, the northern hive city. You've got to go there right now. And you're like, oh my god, that hive city is about to go down. What's happening?
This is our pile of relic librarian skulls that whisper to us at night. I like it.
It's the best nightlight you can have, man.
Oh yeah, it's so nice.
Just your
dream of war, little Astartes.
Yeah. So now we can get to the roles in the chapter. I've actually got their titles and what they're like. They have a little creed with them with like a little motto and like what their official name is inside of them. So we can just start with the chapter master. That'll be the King Mamba. He is the supreme commander of the chapter, and his motto is the head strikes for the body. So I have it as a like, you can cut the head off of the snake and that head will be replaced constantly, and it'll always be ready to strike at you, no matter like, even if you cut that snake's head off, there's always another successor ready for it.
Yeah. So this is the title for sure. Do they I'm just trying to figure out how to word it. Do they kind of keep track of who had this title?
Yes. Or I'm not.
So they don't lose their pre. They've got.
They've gotten the. So every single from the beginning, they've got their first chapter master named, and from that, there's been a constant line of those who have. They all chapter masters for them have had to die in battle and been replaced in the same battle, and they never have a council because they know who's ready. They know who's next. Like everybody know who the next guy is. Like who when the King Mama dies, you know who the top snake is. Like it's not really an option. Like everybody knows that guy's the sneakiest. He's the fastest. Because these guys are super sneaky. Is why they have the Raven Guard. Is I want them to be stealthy. Because I imagined this is a bit of a stretch. Do you watch anime at all?
I've dabbled,
Okay, do you know Demon Slayer?
No.
Okay, there is the snake Hashira. He's super flexible, and he's got this snake breathing, and everything he does is like super bendy limbs and stuff. And I have they are super. he gets into like tight spots, and he like by just moving his body certain ways, in like this certain training area for it, you can it's really hard to explain.
He's like
Somebody who hasn't
a
seen it.
car's advertisement blow up guy.
Yeah, yeah, sort of. Just kind of going around everywhere, but like it's exactly where he wants to go. Like kind of like the snake slithering, because I want them going not in a straight line when they charge. Like,
yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I don't want to make it easy that they're there. Like maybe their heads, like they're going around, but their heads are way too centered when they're going, and their bodies are like way too flexible. Like these guys are like the gymnastics of the Astartes in my mind. Like if they need to go to a height to get to spot and like cartwheel somewhere to get there, they're going to do it, and it's just going to be embarrassing. But they don't care. Like
you hear of like Astartes being ambidextrous or whatever, but like what about like multi-jointed or like
absolutely. Like
super flexible?
My wife has a connective tissue disorder. She's got Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, so like all her like joints are like super loose, and on like she'll yawn and her like jaw will dislocate.
Whoa!
And yeah.
So
and
that's where the fetish of snakes came from, right?
No.
Yikes!
You son of a bitch!
I apologize, but
you're good. That was funny. But like on bad days with her flare-ups, like gravity will take her kneecaps out of place, for example. Like that ain't fun.
Wow.
So
no, sorry to hear that.
I kind of it's all right. We deal with it how we can, you know.
Yep.
You do things how we can. But I have them kind of being that super flexible joints, like anything you think you could do that's flexible, like a contortionist can do, these Astartes can do way better. And they use that.
That was the word I was trying to say, and I just couldn't come to it. But that's perfect. Yeah, you get ambidextrous Astartes, you get contortionist Astartes. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and like if you look at
have you heard of the polymorph drug that the assassins use?
Yes.
And they can like actually shapeshift their body pretty good. Would this almost be like a derivative of that or something? It doesn't have to be. Not everything has to be tied to something
I didn't have it in mind as that. I just had them as being just so okay. Now that as I actually thinking about it, maybe their muscles are kind of like a snake's. Like there's not a lot of bulging in a snake's muscles. They're all like one in the same. So maybe everything with them is so smooth in between the joints, they can bend fully like a 360 if they had to. Like these guys could suck their own dick if they wanted to without removing the rib.
They just don't want to because
they just don't. They're not gooners, man. They don't fall to Slanesh.
They don't fall to man. Okay. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. What a trip these guys would be to see.
Yeah. Just so like my initial thought was like imagining them was you see like Astartes through like tree lines, and some of them are going for like 1 to 2, but these guys are going like all around. Like you are not getting these dudes, and they have like soccer level footwork coordination. Like, does that make sense? Like you're not going to trip these guys. These guys aren't falling.
That's so fun.
Yeah. So let's get to the rest of the chapter layout though. I'll just do those pretty quickly. The captains are the Fang Lords. They're the company commanders. Their mottos are command through patience, strike through wrath. The chaplains, I really like this one. This is one I'm kind of proud of. They are coil wardens. They're the keepers of the faith. They hold fast to the coil. And I will bring up the coil in a moment as soon as I'm done reading the rest of these, but I have something about that I have based most of the chapter on. And that'll make sense in a second. And then the librarians are the Ouroboros. They're the psychers and the seers. And their motto is, we consume our weakness, which I think I like as like they are so hard on themselves. They try to survive, but they can't. And they don't have a weakness really, but they're so hard on themselves. They view that like this mutation as one.
Yeah. I'm thinking, man. Yeah, I think you could word that slightly better. I love the concept of it. Like,
I'm nothing in this is set in stone, for the record. So I'm open to ideas from anybody. I don't care at all.
Yeah, I see some people have popped into the chat if they got any suggestions. I just keep thinking like, our power. Yeah, I don't know. We'll come back to it. I know there's something there. Our power is our weakness, but
yeah. We'll get back to it. The apothecaries are life fangs. They're the healers and the gene keepers. We give as we take, which is that will make sense when you see how they are because they go out of their way to heal citizens, guardsmen, commissars, inquisitors, anybody that's not a space marine and Astartes who can survive from small wounds. They go out of their way to heal them, and that's kind of the one of the thing they do is they will do that, but when it's time for people to, pay up afterwards, somebody's got to fill up our lines of people that we lost. 200 Astartes died in this. Who's going to join the lines?
Okay, so this we haven't really got to recruitment, but this is one way they recruit for sure.
That is one of them. Yeah, they had two ways they recruit. One is that way through after massive battle. People that they've helped, they'll allow them to join if they can prove themselves. And people have
noticed. Is it ever kidnapping, or is it like you made that sound voluntary?
Yes, it actually is voluntary. They are sons of Vulcan. They are not bad people. They're not Minotaurs. Okay. I don't like the Minotaurs if it's obvious. I like the idea of them. But,
I like that. Like, there are plenty of underage soldiers in the Imperium that get wounded. You can find an infinite supply of guys that way for sure.
Yeah. There's plenty of Space Marines with mechanical arms who are missing a hand. Like, what are they going to discriminate? You've got a pinky missing. You're not completely dysfunctional. Like, we saw your bravery. You fought with us. I imagine they would have done if they were at Armageddon, they would have been extremely upset at the Grey Knights because they would have viewed it as like you're killing potential Astartes here when you're killing the citizens. Like,
is that maybe not a primary motivator, but like to save people is to take? Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
It is a big one. It is a big one.
Like,
it's not the main reason, but it's like they do know they get a lot of their Astartes through saving other people's lives. So, They have their home world that they recruit from, and their two hive cities that are on there, like their two major ones. But that's where the majority of it comes from. And but I think it's like 60-40, like 40% probably comes from them, like because they can't do long crusades.
And you gotta
in the galaxy. I was not nice to these guys.
And you still gotta have like that 60-40 split. You still gotta have that cultural cohesion of the chapter of like the home world and stuff that people are brought into. And
it can't be one note. Yeah. And then the Tech Marines are Iron Fangs, the Forge Masters and the Mechanist. The Steel is the Serpent Scale, which I actually quite like that quote a lot. The Scouts are the Hatchlings, which are the Neophytes, and their motto is Strike Unseen, because they are to be protected. They are like they're hatchlings, they're viewed as like the babies of the nest, of the snake nest. That don't let them die super easily.
You've kind of mentioned Black Templar a couple times with their zealotry, and now you've mentioned like the Scoutling and the Neophyte and this protection aspect. Do they have that kind of Astartes apprentice relationship where like
I imagine so. I imagine that a lot of them are looking down at the hatchlings like, what are you possibly going to be? They're like looking down to see if any of them have that psychic mutation early to get them quick, to not let them burn out as they're still a hatchling. They'd see some that are obviously going to be good coil wardens, going to be good chaplains, and they're like, you got to come with us now. Like, we're going to get you out of this hatching program and get us straight into us so we can train you ourselves. Because they, especially the librarians, because they burn out so quick, they're always looking at their hatchlings as like, who's the next guy in line? Like, they've got to keep that line going,
You mentioned the chapter being hyper secret. Are they at all hyper secret within their own chapter, or like once you're in, you know everything? Essentially,
once you're in, you basically know everything except for like the specifics. There are some small secrets
Sure, we all have our
there's some there's like small. I mean, like maybe they've got a an alliance with the kin that nobody knows about. Like even some within their own chapter. Like maybe that's the thing that exists there, but we can get to that later. The only thing that's left, chapter organization wise are the veterans, and they're the Fangguard, and they're just the first company elites, and their motto is just the strike that ends the hunt. But that's it for the chapter organizations.
Yeah. Would veterans take more of a hand in training like scouts and hatchlings at all?
Yeah. I imagine they can because they've seen that process so many times. They've seen that line and cycle. They can see when that's just a regular. They can start scout one, and maybe if they see like a young, like 1 in a million of the Astartes, the veterans are like, you guys don't actually get him. He's with us.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. So like the potential in the chapter, and the rank and file still become the rank and file, but those who have potential get noticed because they die so much that they have to replace the good people because everybody dies. Like I said, nobody lives, dude. Everybody dies in this chapter. Like
let the relic librarian skull pile grow. Make Cord himself jealous.
Get a million Astartes heads like corn or a Karn.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. And then I've got breakdowns of like each one. They're quite long.
I think just let's keep going through this document slowly. Like go to the Fang Herald next. We got maybe another 8 minutes that we can record for, but yeah, let's just keep going through it.
Yeah, absolutely. We have the chapter master next, actually.
Oh yes.
Yeah. The title King Mama is both mental and warning, the apex predator of the Ophidian coil, who must rule both by not by tyranny, but by balance. The King Mama is said to embody the mind of the serpent, calm, calculating, and lethal in defense of the weak. The role of the chapter master as the King Mama is not only the supreme commander, but the living embodiment of the Ophidian creed, which is like their what they view as like not their codex Astartes as like their template to guide their like views on, but you need to follow these guidelines if you're going to be an Ophidian. It's like their Ophidian creed is how I've got it. Yeah, I've not shaped it out yet, but I'm going to have like a list of like things, kind of like the 10 Commandments, but not quite of you got to follow these things. And if you don't, you're going to get punished in some way. You've got to do some small, like not like a penance crusade within the chapter, but like you've got to do some form of like you reprimand of some kind, like self-imposed.
Sure. Yeah.
And then he must balance mercy and wrath, guarding the fragile coil of humanity while unleashing venom upon its enemies. Every decree he gives is recorded in the Chronicles of the Fang, inscribed upon serpent-shaped iron tablets within the vault of the scales. And I had that serpent-shaped iron tablets. I might change that because it's kind of weird to make something skinny and actually like have things that are wrote on it because it doesn't exactly, make
no long words, okay?
Yeah, just everything short. No long words. That's very funny. Oh yeah. But the Chronicles of the Fang is every like if he says go to this world and do this, everything he says is documented. And because they hold themselves to a standard, so everything they do is like do this. I said this, you said this when I said this, so make sure you actually do what you said. And
they're like a pretty quiet chapter by nature. When they do talk, it's important.
Yes, absolutely. Like they're not like so quiet when they only have to whisper to make things known on the battlefield, like Carcharodons, which I think is kind of stupid. Because like they're giant people. Whispering should do a little bit more than that. Like, I don't want them. They're not fully silent. Like, you can still hear some rustling of stuff, but they just talk at regular volume. Like, they don't really. They don't yell a lot. These guys just kind of speak. Then the appearance and the symbolism of the chapter master. His armor, the scaled regalia of Vulcan's heir, is a black green with mirror sheen plates resembling serpent hide. His helm bears a stylized serpent crest. Eyes glow emerald when he enters battle. The Serpent of the Fangs, his relic weapon, is a twin-bladed glaive charged with plasma coils that hum like a serpent's hiss. And one thing, this right here, this is my favorite chapter relic I could think of, genuinely. And it's called the Coil of Oaths, and it's around his throat. It's a living electrum serpent said to tighten if he breaks a sworn vow. And every chapter master has to wear that. You have to keep your word if you make it. And if
once again, you lose a lot of guys.
Choke you out. Yeah, they lose a lot of guys. But the ones that they get in there, and if that chapter master's been there for 300 years, that dude's kept his word for 300 years. Yeah, that's a reliable Astartes. That guy is not fucking around. Like, those who succeed in the Ophidians would succeed anywhere, in my opinion. Because they all die, and it's very hard to get in. His personality and demeanor. The King Mama is not loud nor cruel. He leads by silence and precision. He is patient to the point of discomfort, often staring at subordinates for long minutes before speaking. He is utterly ruthless to the Emperor's foes, yet known for kneeling before injured civilians, whispering apologies as he lifts them to safety. And I had a short story wrote about that was based on, where he actually saved a commissar's daughter without knowing it on a high world, and it ended up spreading because it was their when they first left their homeworld, and they were more known amongst the people, and the Inquisition actually took a look at them. Their first notable moment was their chapter master actually saving somebody, and it ended up being a commissar's daughter. So it kept them up, but they got immediately looked down upon because of all the snake stuff. Because he had his helmet off at the time, for the records. You could see his snake eyes. He had the fangs. He had the Emperor's bite, and he was talking with him out. He just, he kind of had him out all the time because he's just used to it. He didn't think about it. But
the commissar's like reaching for his bolt pistol.
Like he sees the guy going to pick up his daughter, and he's like, oh my God, is he about to eat her? And he just like carries her to him and stuff. It's like, no, she's safe. Like, even that, like him saying, I'm going to save you, even that's decreed in their Chronicles of the Fang. Like everything he says, like even like sworn oaths to like a citizen. If the chapter master tells a citizen, I'm going to save you, if that citizen dies, he will as well. Like it's gotta.
So is there a guy that like presses this button, or how does it?
It is. I have it as like I haven't fleshed it out fully. I have it as some older relic from like some salamander's technology that's not fully. It doesn't know where it's from. Like nobody knows where it's from, but it's not quite Dark Age. It's not like Butcher's Nails in terms of like it understands emotion, but it knows like it knows when you know. Is how I've got it. Like if you know you broke a vow, it tightens up and it'll kill you.
Yeah, so I it's definitely
maybe
like
measures heartbeat or
but it's not like a warp thing, and it's not somebody pushing a button like a chaplain. It's like a technological thing.
Yes. It's some form of technology that they don't know fully where it's from. It's like it's just I have it as like a bronze or metal snake that's like extended. And truthfully, when I initially thought of it, I thought of it as like the wrist slappers, except he just does it to his neck when he's like made the chapter master, and it goes around, and then like it ends right here with like the mouth here, and it if he breaks a vow, it'll just tighten up and it'll just choke him out.
Yeah, crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting because
I like it.
Always having to keep vows.
Yeah, man.
And then we're actually gonna go to a little bit of a chapter history here before we go to any of the notable King Mambas. It looks like. The chapter history. The title originated after the first shedding when the original chapter master, Vulcan's scion, Caldris, I think that's how I say that. I don't for sure know. Mutated under psychic strain, his skin darkening, despite it should be not skin darkening, it should be skin whitening, his pupils slitting. Rather than execution, the Salamander's Council allowed him to found the Ophidians, honoring his self-control and refusal to turn to corruption. Since then, the King Mamba is chosen not by serenity, but by ritual, the trial of the Fang, where candidates must withstand the venom of the Primarch's blood, a sacred toxin said to mimic Vulcan's genetic essence. This right here isn't set in stone. I might get rid of that, but...
Yeah, I was wondering, like, you were saying all the guys just know, so the guys that just kind of know
I think I'm going to get rid of that.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to delete that, actually.
Gone, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
No one will ever speak of it again. Retconned before our eyes.
Exactly, just like that. We're just gonna all forget about that. And then the notable King Mambas, I've got two. I've got the first. It's Caldris, the Serpent Crown, the first of the line. His Calm under mutation. I'm actually probably gonna get rid of that one as well. Just the mutation part, because I've got their actual mutation for the psychic as unknown, but their gene seed combining from Ravenguard and Salamanders is from like 500 Astartes being left over on a world after like a battle they had, and they combined their forces and their gene seeds with some Mechanicum guys that are there to make the Ophidians, because the firstborn in quotes of the Ophidians are Ravenguard and Salamanders, who raise up to the chapter to be what they want, which is what they are now in the M41 or M40. Because they were founded in the 35th and the 21st founding, and after 5,000 years, those guys aren't around anymore, and obviously, but they had them as their originals, and they gave a little mostly. I had them as mostly Salamander. Like they focus more on Vulcan than they do the Raven Guard aspect, because not a lot is really focused on the Raven Guard in my mind, as much as the Salamanders when it comes to their belief system and stuff. And I just figured it'd be an easier way to make them more civilian caring, is just focusing on the Salamanders part, but just giving them the Raven Guard part for their stealth stuff.
Sure.
But yeah. And then he once struck down a word-bearer dark apostle mid-sermon with a single silent blow, ending an entire chaos upbringing before it even happened. And then the current King Mamba is Mamba. I honestly put that on there, not knowing how to spell that, and hoping you would try to. Yeah, it's XY''THAR. The pale coil. I think it's Czar.
You would get it if you spoke Snake, okay?
Yeah, exactly. It's like a little bit. Everything's got mix of like not quite parcel tongue, but if you don't know how to slip that in there, you're not going to say these guys' names. And he's the current chapter master, rumored to have no heartbeat while meditating, yet speaks with warmth to clarity to mortals. And because they're cold-blooded, I had them getting, because regular humans who are Olympic level athletes can get their heartbeats down to like 41 and below per minute just resting, and I have these guys at resting heart rates down to like 2. like it's low. Like they get calm and they get focused and like super clarity. So with those that get that clarity don't ever get corruption, because they're so clear-minded.
Yeah, it's almost like a spiritual trip at that point if you deprive yourself like in that kind of way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The original thought process behind the no heartbeat while meditating was something I read about Jagatai Khan, the Primarch. It was the Alec Gay, if I say that right. It's the monk he goes into. It's ALAKH space GEH. It's where it's kind of like, in my mind, Ultra Instinct from Dragon Ball Z, where he gets in this headspace where the distance between thought and action is almost immediate.
Interesting.
And I have them kind of reaching a similar space, but where they just remove any form of doubt or hesitance. There's just nothing. They just are for sure in what they do.
You gotta be, otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. There's that cool.
I'm getting it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, this seems like a great little spot to put a pause on this chapter. I'm loving it so far. Lots of depth, lots of little timbits of fun. Yeah, cool. Any closing thoughts you have about them? Before we get back to them on another episode?
Not at the moment. I'm going to do a reread for the next one and make sure there's no repeats, because I didn't want to go through 13,000 words in 10 minutes.
No, you don't want that, man. Whatever. This is quick little reread, edit on the fly. Who cares? Yeah. No big deal.
It'd be all right. But
yeah.
It's fun. We do what we can.
Man,
I really like the idea of the Ouroboros stuff, which is just the main thought was just despite them being like cruel to themselves, they're good to regular people.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of being good to people, you had a charity you wanted to shout out there.
Yeah. I sent that to the link in the Discord between me and you. It's Cure Poppy and Oliver.com. It's a San Filippo Foundation. They have 2.1 million of 3.9 raised for a company to start the production of a drug to try to cure San Filippo. It's Alzheimer's for kids, and they refuse to do it until they have the money for it. So it has to be raised before December 1st as well. So nobody's getting the money. It's just going to get a cure for kids with Alzheimer's. Like, I don't think anybody had a problem giving them $1 or $2 here or there. So
yeah, go definitely help that out. Lots of people have that. So yeah, tragic stuff, man. People out there struggling. Hey, while you're giving people dollars, you can throw the dollar you would give me on Patreon. Go throw it that way too. Might as well. And hit me up next week with $1.
Yeah. Don't forget the Imperial Tithe.
Yeah, don't forget that every other week. But cool. Thanks for joining the show. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of you and your chapter and the snakes and
the Ouroboros.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a silly pun to end it on, but like they're not jokesters, these guys. So no.
They're not really. They're pretty serious. They don't like to fuck around. All right.
Cool.
Well, it was all right, Aaron. Man. Yeah.
We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. See you, man.
Adios.